Hello there everybody, how's it going and how have you been? Welcome back to SpaceChem. In the last episode we finished off the special Team Fortress 2 crossover sort of levels, and it's off to a somewhat bigger DLC pack, the 63 Corvi set. It does have its own story presented in this little menu right here. More pages will become available for reading as we go on. Once again, not going to read it, just don't think I'm ready to try and do voices or big reading quite yet, especially because I'm planning to get through all of the research levels in this set. Now, even though there's 7, it's best to think of this place as just another planet, because I'm pretty sure the first 3 are research levels, the next 3 are production, and then we have another boss. So let's get right to it. Now, first things first, this reactor looks pretty different. We have no bonders, we have these weird circles with arrows, and we have this big white line in the middle. 63 Corvi, I believe, only features reactors that have this setup. Some will probably have bonders later on, but point is, molecules and atoms cannot pass this barrier. Now you'd think, well then these levels are impossible, right? Because there's no way for atoms to go from the inputs to the outputs. That's where these guys come in. These are quantum tunnels. So, perhaps the best way to show how they work is to just show how they work. Believe it or not, this is all we need to finish the level. So, if I start it, when red hits this special swap command, you'll notice that the atom is teleported from one end of the tunnel to the other. Again, that's the other key feature of the 63 Corvi DLC, are these special teleportation quantum tunnels that warp atoms from one point to another. So we will be having to use these to teleport the atoms across this middle barrier and get them onto the other side so that we can actually export them and complete the levels. Now, I'm not going to go too much further into how these work because we will probably see some of their other quirks as we continue. There we go. Now, this level is going to be a little bit more complicated, but not too much more difficult, actually. We still don't have flip-flop, I just noticed, so let's put the sensor over here. And how about the other end of the quantum tunnel right here? Okay. Now, what I would like is for red to call in and pick up the chlorine gas molecule. And how about a sync here to get blue started. Teleport the first atom, and then teleport the second atom. Now, the quantum tunnels don't transport an entire molecule. They will only transport the one atom that is sitting on top of them. And in the process, they will completely destroy all the bonds connecting that atom to any other atom. No matter how strong they are or how weak they are, it's just instantaneous. So, let's give blue a sync. He will grab the chlorine that comes in, and I do need this little break so that blue has a chance to move the first chlorine out of the way. Now, there's no way to collide atoms through the quantum tunnel, so even if blue doesn't move this first chlorine away by the time red tries to send the second one through, that won't cause the reactor to fail. All it will do is move one chlorine over here and the other one back. So it really just swaps what is on top of them. So you don't have to worry about them causing any kind of weird errors unless, of course, an atom happens to pop back through when you didn't mean it to and the molecule collides with it, but on their own, they won't cause any problems. just like this. However, if he detects that there is a chlorine, which there will be once he moves the second one in because it will have been pushed over a bit, he sends it out and goes back around and start to restart, basically. Yep. There we go. Now these levels are quite a bit simpler than what we saw at the tail end of the story mode. Again, they are introducing a new concept, so they're a bit easier on purpose, just to you know, help us get comfortable to using this new concept. Let's just speed things up so that, there's no reason to go to speed 4. We're almost done. Okay. Oh, okay. Apparently there was only 2 production or research levels. Straight into production, huh? Okay. So we have a tank of tungsten trioxide, and we have to make tungsten nanospikes out of it. So first order of business is to extract the tungsten atoms. Second is to put them together. Now, one thing about the production levels of 63 Corvi is that you will typically have to use these 2 odd little structures right here. Now, there's actually, it's hard to see because the grid kind of blends in with the background, but you cannot build, I can't talk. There's a no construction barrier, is the best way I can think to put it, all around the storage tank that wants these tungsten nanospikes. Now what these are teleporters. So whatever goes into this teleporter comes out of this one. The catch is that they can only send 1 atom at a time. So what we're going to need is, in fact, 1 reactor up here to put the tungsten nanospike together. If I can actually get the pipes to cooperate with me. Thank you. I feel like I'm being kind of disjointed. I feel like I'm going a little too fast, but oh well. Regardless, the other one we need is a reactor right here. Now, do these guys have a sensor? They do come standard with a sensor. So, again, if I can get these squirrely pipes to cooperate. There we go. So, oxygen is going to go to the recycler because we just don't need it. Out of the other output, however, are going to go single atoms of tungsten, because these gates, again, you can teleport anything that goes in the input teleporter comes out of the output one. They can only send 1 atom at a time. So this reactor will basically extract the tungsten atoms, and then this guy will just put them together. Now, you think that would be a very simple task, but, well, as you can see, tungsten trioxide is kind of a complicated shape. I don't really see a need to time-lapse on this first production level, just because we're only like 9 or 10 minutes in, so hopefully I'm not confusing anybody. Let's put this one over here. Use sensor to control which way blue goes, because he will be the one sorting things. Actually, let's nudge it up just a little bit. So, Red's job is to call in a tungsten trioxide. And do I want him to control when the atoms go through the tunnel, or do I want blue to do that? Actually, yeah, let's get blue to do that. So all we have to worry about red doing is stopping in the correct spots. So blue will have a sink here. He will pull an atom through the tunnel, grab it. If it is a tungsten, he will send it through psi, come back around, hit another sink to make red move forward again. If it's an oxygen, he just dumps it out of omega. Now all we really have to do is just time where red stops. So I can get rid of this oxygen with that sink. That will basically clear off the rightmost column of the molecule. Then here maybe to get rid of this other loose oxygen. Pretty sure this reactor is going to take a little bit of getting used to, or just a... Okay, not exactly what I was hoping to do. Well, maybe it'll be alright. Let's see what happens to it. So blue pulls the tungsten through. We do have a loose oxygen. Maybe I don't have to worry about it. So that will get rid of the oxygen below the other tungsten that hasn't gone through yet. Actually, I wonder if it would be easier to like cut the tungsten trioxide in half and just have red worry about handling each half of it instead. Yeah, let's just keep working with this one, or this train of thought. So problem is I want to get rid of this oxygen next, but the best direction to move towards to do that gets rid of the tungsten first. You know, if blue has to run a couple of empty rounds, then he runs a couple of empty rounds. I'm not that worried. Let's check this out. Blue does nothing. Okay, we're actually a little bit too low. I think I can work with this, actually. Let's see, if I tell Red to go down, drop this oxygen, and then do something like this, how much of the molecule goes through? Not as much as I was hoping. The idea was to like slowly send through that little, what was it, like an oxygen, yeah, this little tungsten dioxygen or dioxide or whatever it is. Unfortunately, in the same turn Red has to take to pick it up. Or I should say, the simple act of Red having to pick it up means that I can't send part of it through. Is there a way... Well, to continue elaborating on the idea, once one of the oxygen and the other tungsten has gone through, run around with the oxygen Red's still holding on to, bond it to the one that got left behind here, and then just send that through. Is there a way I could maybe break part of the molecule off? I really don't know now, actually. Let's see it again. Oh wait, actually if I go up from here, then I'll just leave a little oxygen down below. So let's just get rid of this so I'm not confusing myself. Okay. Then I go here. And I think that should send all but 2 of the oxygen atoms through, which Red will handle by picking up one of the strays, bonding it to the other, and almost doing it. Although I believe if I do that, then it should work fine. So, yeah, that handles most of the molecule. And then, yeah, Red just picks up the 2 free-floating atoms, connects them so he manipulates both at once, and sends them through. Excellent. Okay. and then one last sink to get blue to send the last atom through. Alright. Now, this next one, fairly simple job. Although I will have to assemble the entire nanospike over here. So red calls in the atom, sends it through, grabs it, drops, or rather bonds it, and drops. Now, I think it's okay to not have these two guys synced with the solution I'm thinking of. Primarily because the tungsten atoms are going to be coming through very slowly. So, red, you can just go right back around. Blue, however, you will be locked until the sensor detects tungsten, which means red will have put 4 of them together. I'll grab it. Come over here and see if I say drop on bond. That will take care of the first set. Picks it up, puts it down, bond, picks it up, puts it down. I think we'll need to pull it up one more space though. So in that case, let's move this control lock so it's just a little bit nicer for blue to get into. Okay. So now, I believe this reactor, red will put together a chain of 4 tungstens, which blue will then grab, move over, and slowly reinforce them all into triple bonds. So, let's see if it works. Trioxide coming over here. Blue steadily sorts out the atoms. And as we saw, tungsten atoms are going through the teleporter. Yeah, it certainly seems like there's a pretty long wait time between sets of 2 tungstens. And kind of like usual, I forget to put the final output command down. But I don't know why I exited the reactor just there. But apart from that, I believe the system's working. And we've been introduced to all the little tricks and themes of the 63 Corvi DLC in the process. Yep, there we go. Alright, so let's just hit speed 4 so we can tick through. I do apologize if I was kind of repetitive or just not particularly clear in this episode. I'm not really sure why, but, oh, okay. Fine game, mix it up. Is there anything strange about this one? Oh, yeah, you know what, considering we're right in the middle of the time window, I think this one will wait, so... yeah, backtracking a little bit. Sorry, I'm not being... sorry if I wasn't very coherent or understandable in this episode. Not really sure why. Maybe because to me it seems kind of simple, but just because it's simple to me doesn't mean it's going to be simple to everybody, so if it was a little bit confusing, I apologize. Hopefully you can pick out... apparently my brain just does not want to talk tonight. Maybe you can... hopefully you can pick out the useful information from all of my rambling. But with that, we completed about half of 63 Corvi. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope y'all had a great time. Why does my... I know I'm flipping the outro again, but it's like every time I start saying it, it doesn't sound right. Let me try again. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope y'all had a great time, and I hope y'all have a great day. I will see you in the next episode, and farewell for now.